So what's going on?
The 20th.
You know what's nice about this is we're not on a Zoom screen together.
It's really weird, actually.
I know. Who are you? Nice to see you.
Hey,
Jeff.
nice to meet
you.
you. This desk is just how I remember it.
You know what?
Very clean.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your comments.
This is the desk of somebody who's getting stuff done.
I do. I get a lot done. I know where everything is on this desk.
I know.
But that's not the point of this talk.
It is not. It is not.
Sometimes
we'll digress.
All right, here's what we're chatting about today. This is something that Mike found that as soon as he found it, I don't think I see you excited a lot, but this was like, this is a game changer. This is huge. Wait till you see this.
Big time game changer.
Sent me the link. First thought I had was, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We chatted about it. It got nuts as far as where we're going.
Yeah, but before we even get there, I think whether it's the tool we're about to show or any of the other technology we have, because we have within our brokerage, we have a lot of great technology, right? We have technology that it's all included for our agents. They can literally at the click of a button send out newsletters and email campaigns and touch their past clients and prospects and do all of this stuff relatively easily. We create social content for them every single day.
Their phone numbers for absentee owners, click up a button.
I mean, we do all of this. We have all this available. Yet, we have agents within our brokerage, and there's a lot of agents in the industry that have access to these tools, including the tool we're about to show you, which I do believe is game changing, but still don't produce.
Certainly at the level that they could, even if they are producing.
So the question is, why? And the question is that we constantly are trying to figure out is how do we get through? How do we change that? How do we get you to say, yes, amazing, this is awesome, I've got to use it, and then actually use it?
Well, we did a class, 2 days ago on this tool, and people are so fired up about it. And then I asked, did you use it yet? No.
Yeah.
Have you played with it yet?
I got text messages this morning from agents asking for the domain again, which I sent out. But one of them was like, yeah, I downloaded the mobile app. I was like, no, you didn't. We've been preaching to our agents nonstop over the last month, 2 months, that this is an action-driven market, right? We're entering a market that you're not, for the most part, just going to have deals handed to you. You're not going to have contracts flooded in on your listings, right? You're gonna have to go to work. So the question is, are you? And what's going to motivate you to do that? What's gonna motivate you to wake up in the morning and use this tool or use any tool for that matter?
Well, it's the 4 words we've been drilling nonstop, right? It's clarity, focus, action, and accountability. And there's no reason for accountability unless you're really taking action. There's no reason for you to take action, right, unless you have any focus. And it's impossible to focus on anything unless you have clarity on what you're actually working towards. So if you back it up to everything, like we just finished our Big Ass Smile Mastermind, right? And I love that. That was a lot of fun for me because it was totally voluntary. It's totally, hey, whoever wants to come on, come on. And it was about, let's find something. We don't care what it is. Something that puts a big ass smile on your face at the end of 6 weeks that you're going to feel good accomplishing. Whatever it was, pay off a card, save something.
Different for all of us. We had a wide spectrum of agents on those calls, right?
We had flooring that they wanted to take care of. We had credit card payoffs. We had down payments where we had to pay an entire pay off an entire year tuition for your kids. Right? You had all kinds of motivations. Book that trip, right? Down payment on all types of stuff. Get a car. All these different things were in the list of why am I going to go do this. And we just did it as a 6-week push challenge. Just to end of the year. It's going to evolve. But I mean, how, to your point, how none of this matters, right? This could be the coolest thing on the planet. But how do we ignite that clarity on this one? Like what does it do? And I'll speak for a second because it's tough for me too. Constantly figure out what is the next level. What's going to put a big ass smile on my face. And then I actually have to remind myself all the time, what is next? What is next? What is next? Because to keep pushing, to keep doing things is fun, but you got to have the reason why to do it. Because you see, we take shots nonstop. Right? We get arrows thrown at us. You get all kinds of stress involved in it. Is it worth it? And if your goal isn't exciting enough to put up with the crap you have to go through to get it, what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it all comes back to happiness, right? It was interesting. We posted one of the micro cuts on TikTok the other day of one of our masterminds, right? And it was you talking about the clarity and getting focused and getting motivated and how much money and opportunity there is out there still. And one of the comments we got back was, it's not all about money, right? And to which I replied, you're right. It's not all about money. But here's the thing. I think deep inside all of us, happiness drives most people, right? Most people want to be happy. The problem is most people, in my opinion, don't know what actually makes them happy. So for me, it's figuring that out. And once you figure that out, I would argue that if you know what makes you happy, money actually does buy happiness, right? Because it gives you the freedom that you need to actually do what makes you happy. Because sometimes what makes you happy, spending more time with your kids, paying that debt, whatever it is, requires income. It requires cash to be able to do those things, because those individual activities may not be money and income generating, but you still have bills. You still have responsibilities. So it's not about, and maybe it is. Maybe you get pumped if you can buy a Rolls Royce and open the door and sit inside, and every time you hit that gas pedal or turn the car on, you get a feeling which then excites you to go do. If that's what gets you pumped and makes you happy, awesome. Like, who are we to be like, that's materialistic, you shouldn't want that? No, awesome. But it also might be, hey, I really like taking this entire month off of December and January to go volunteer at a shelter. Awesome. Do you have the income? Are your bills, your $5,000-$6,000 a month of bills, are those covered for the next 2 months so you can go do that? And if not, why not? Because if that really excites you and makes you comfortable, what are you doing the other 10 months out of the year to ensure that you get to do what makes you happy at the end of the year and go spend time in those shelters? And that's where I think people need to really get clarity on is what makes you happy.
And money, to me, it gives you options. That's really all it does.
Absolutely.
About how you're going to go do things. Like I just, like, as you know, I just sent my wife and my kids, they're over in Germany right now. I'm going to join them. So there were definitely a bunch of options and different ways to go and to get there with different experiences and different feelings. And this is the first time they've gone without me traveling, right? So I want to make sure they have a nice trip, right? Costs more than just stuffing them over there. But I know the way that they traveled, how they got there, what they did, who met them when they arrived, how they were ushered through customs and security, cost more. But it was worth it to me because it gave me a feeling of comfort and a feeling that they had a better experience, and all it took was another sale, right? It wasn't that much in the grand scheme of things, but that's the options, right? So it's the way that you go through life. Cars, plenty of different options.
Lots of
houses, plenty of different options. Locations to live, plenty of different options. Dinners, plenty of different options. Sports events, how many different seating options are there? And
there's a lot, right? You go sit in the very back row of the top bleachers. You could be in a box. You could be front row. You could be wherever you want.
And they all cost different amounts, but there's a different experience to every one of them, and none of them are better than the others. But about what people, some people are just happy to be there with the environment. They don't care about sitting in the front.
True.
Other people are only the front aisle.
But here's where this gets challenging. Are you bullshitting yourself? Right. This is where it gets hard. Right. And this is where I think the biggest pitfall is, because you're gonna justify to yourself, but the kids are going to Germany, so it's fine if they sit and coach because they just want to get to Germany.
Right. The experience is there.
It's fine
when they get there.
It's fine. They're getting there. They're gonna have a great time once they get there. It's gonna be fine, right? And it would be fine.
Yeah.
Technically, it would be fine. My question is, if you wanted to sit front row, are you justifying to yourself sitting now in the upper deck? Because at least you got in.
You're still there.
Right? You're still there. So I'm not saying one's right or wrong. What I am saying is just don't bullshit yourself. Just don't lie. Don't justify something. Don't shortchange yourself because you were scared to take that next step that would have gotten you exactly what you wanted, which was sitting front row. And would you have honestly had a better, happier experience if you were front row? Right.
And how many times have you gone to buy anything and you're like, oh man, I want that, but this is pretty good too.
Yeah,
you got the pretty good too thing instead. And then you're like, yeah, this is good. That's the smirk. That's why we call it a big ass smile, because there's a lot of things that make you go, yay.
Yeah.
Right? But there's very few things that make you go, fuck, awesome.
It's that,
right? With that big ass real smile that creates that
100%.
feeling.
It's that settle. And I think it's human nature, right? We get very good. We're very, very good at justifying things to ourselves. It's why we don't do certain things, right? We're really good at being like, well, I can take today off because it's the 20th and in 4 days the world's shutting down. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll pick it up in the beginning of the year.
We get very, very, very efficient at justifying things to ourselves.
Because here's what we've learned, and you've been following us for a while, a lot of you have been, and maybe you're new to watching this, welcome if that's the case. The issue is simple. When you have a clear goal that puts a big ass smile on your face, you know what I'm talking about. When the hairs on your arms stand up and you're like, that's mine, I could taste it, I could feel it, I'm gonna live it, I deserve it, it's mine, right? There's nothing getting in the way, that's it, right? There's nothing that will stop you. It's the when you bullshit yourself to say, they think I should say this, and right, and then you say it and it sounds good. You can even go print out the picture of the Rolls Royce on the computer and put it on your vision board. But until you're emotionally connected and you already have it in your mind, right, it's never gonna happen. Then all the tools are irrelevant. Everything's irrelevant. The coaching is irrelevant. The training is irrelevant. The tools, the systems, everything becomes irrelevant until you're actually committed. Because the truth is, if you didn't have the roles, you didn't have that, still all right.
Yeah.
Life's
you
okay.
still probably have a nice car.
Yeah.
Or a car.
Any car makes you look rich in the theory of the world, right?
Yeah.
To have
big scheme of things, right?
So that's clarity, guys. So that's maybe we'll put in the link here, the link to the business plan, just to kind of show how we're doing the business planning calculator, and that puts a big ass smile on your face over quarter by quarter. But let's just show this latest tool.
Because once you get clarity and you're committed, and now we want to take action. Now comes the tools, right? And you have to have good tools around you so that you can be efficient and actually maximize your effort, maximize your time, and what we're about to show you, essentially outsource the things that are time consuming, that aren't income generating, and for a lot of you, you're not very good at, right?
That's right.
So this is a tool that's a game changer in that regard, and most importantly, it's a tool that is in its infancy, right? This is just getting started, and it's only going to get better, and more importantly, you're going to see a lot of future tools built on top of this. So the more comfortable you get with how to use it, what it is, the better off you're going to be. So what we're talking about is a chat program called ChatGPT, which was developed by a company called OpenAI. They've been around for a while, but they have not really released anything that has been really, really effective at kind of bringing true AI to the consumer.
To be honest, I mean, AI in the past has been such a kind of a joke.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's
like you're gonna get the messenger bots.
Yes,
and check out my AI bot. And
I've been using messenger bots for years on them, and it sounds like a bot, right? Like when you get a response, you're like, oh, that's a bot trying to figure out this, right? It sounds like they're speaking another language half the time.
But they were trying. It
was there, right? And this, when I first started using it, when it first came out, people started talking about it, and let me go. It's probably another one of those things, right? And I typed in one phrase, and it came back, and I was like, oh my God. Like, everything has changed. And so I think you'll feel the same. And so we'll just kind of show you. So basically what you do is you come to chat.openai.com, and it's 100% free. Taylor's going to film it, and so this will all be in real time. And so he's going to hit this, and the AI is going to do its thing. And typically in less than about 30 to 50 seconds, there it goes, it's going to start giving us those top 5 things that they should be considering before making a purchase. And you didn't have to do a single thing to come up with it.
This is ridiculous.
Right?
Cool.
I mean, just imagine how much more efficient this just got. Now, we're not even close to being done here, because this created a list and it gave me 5 things. Now, I can do quite a few things with this list. I could ask it to do more, give me more. I could ask it to give me less.
Let's see what it talks about for relevancy, since most of us are in the real estate business. So affordability is the first one. It's important to consider how much you can afford. Make sure you have a budget in place. Location is a major factor. Just think about proximity to schools, size and the layout of the homes, condition of the homes, look for signs of damage and need repairs, future plans, how long you want to be in this home, all of that. So yes, kind of, it's realistic content, right? This is real. I mean, this is giving you content of stuff that you can actually say.
Yeah. And I could copy and paste any one of these and ask it to give me more detail, in which case it would. Now I could also turn this into a video of my own for real estate. So ask it to turn the above into a video script. So Jeff's gonna ask it to turn the above content into a video script. You didn't have to change anything, literally just types that out, and scroll down a little bit because you're gonna see the magic here. So we've asked it to turn the top 5 things into a video script, and it will do that for you. So here it goes, and it's literally putting it in a script format. So now you could read this out in your own video and have a video on the top 5 things to consider.
I copy and paste this into my teleprompter app on my phone.
Yep.
That I can start reading it while I'm doing my content, right?
Yep.
Without having to pay a bunch of money for a program that does the same thing.
100%.
Right? So there's one of the things you can do. Look, it's still even typing our whole thing.
Yeah. So it's going to give you a whole script. So you could literally read this and it's going to sound like a script, right? Which is great. Now, some of you are saying, well, I'm not going to create my own video. Great. Ask it to turn that into a blog for us. So maybe you're not going to get on video. Be honest with yourself. Some of you just won't. So that's okay. Maybe you want it to become a blog post. So Jeff's going to turn in and ask him to turn it into a blog post. And instead it's going to reformat this, and it's going to create even more content around it. There you go. And the address, just copy and paste all the way down. For you is if you don't expose yourself early on to this in its most basic raw form, you're gonna struggle to comprehend and understand and just kind of be in the dark about these other platforms that are going to come, and they are coming at rapid speed. This platform, this OpenAI, is OpenAI. They've made the code for this accessible to all the developers. So every platform out there is going to be leveraging this to create more practical uses across every industry. So I don't know, to not leverage this in your business this coming year is stupid. But again, before you can even get to this stuff, you gotta have a clear goal.
You do.
And that's where it all starts.
I think the summary to this one is technology is not going to replace the real estate agent. The real estate agent with technology is going to replace the real estate agent, right? When you can leverage these tools, you're going to be light years ahead of your competition. You're going to be faster. You're going to be more efficient. You're going to look smarter. You're going to be just a better resource, right? So that's what these tools do. It's just about leveraging and you just being the smartest person in the marketplace.
Well, it's funny, right? That's an interesting perspective, because I think one of the fears of AI has always been, oh, AI is going to eliminate jobs. No, AI is going to eliminate people who have hung their value on something that is no longer valuable, right? We talk about all the time with the agents that if you set your value, if you're working with a buyer and you've set your value to that buyer as that you're the one who opens the door and lets them in and shows them where the kitchen is, you're in big trouble, because the second that they find somebody else who can open a door and show them where the kitchen is, they're providing the same value that you are.
You're replaceable.
And you're replaceable at that point, right? So in alternative to that, though, if you've provided where you'll get them in the house, right? And a lot of times that does come with the territory. But the reality is that's not really where your value is. Your value is when you walk in that front door and you're like, oh my God, this is the one. That's where I go to work. That's where I'm going to negotiate the absolute best deal. And I'm going to connect with the other side, and we're going to make this deal happen and get it done in a very smooth manner. If that's your value, very different value proposition, right? And this is no different. If you've been making a living because you're a content writer and you provide blogs to a company, yeah, you're in trouble. I guess they still need somebody to type this in and copy and paste it, but they can probably get somebody for $10 an hour to do that. So yeah, if that's the value you've provided, you're in trouble. You better start realizing your real value. In the same way it came up in our manager call that we had with our leadership team, and Craig brought it up and said, well, is this going to hurt the value of a broker because they could get a lot of their questions answered? Yeah, you can get some questions answered, but that's not our value. Right now, there are brokerages out there that have built their value on, you need me, you got to ask me all the questions, right? That's what I'm here for. We have built the value on telling you the truth, being transparent, really helping push you, because this isn't about answering questions. Yes, we will answer your questions, but you can Google most of this stuff. You could have Googled it all the time. That's not our real value. Our real value is waking up every day to figure out how do we help you be a better version of yourself. And that's something AI is not going to do.
Right.
And so as a company, that's our value. And because we've positioned that, I'm not scared about that at all. No. But if you have positioned yourself, if you are positioning yourself as an agent now, where your value is the home search process, or your value is opening that door, you are in big trouble, because AI will absolutely own those categories, 1,000,000%. So if that is the case, it's time to rethink that business model heading into 2023. And that's just the truth.
That's it. That's the summary. I mean, our job is mindset, skills, and action, right? Because if we can help you get the right mindset to find that clarity, to give you the focus, and provide the skills that allow you to take action and get you accountability, that's what it takes. It's a tough job. It's a lot. But it all starts with us being able to help you unlock that spark, right? That clarity, that focus, that drive. There's no tool on the planet that's going to help you until you get that spark. So, as always, if we can help you find that spark, let us know, man. That's nothing. I know you too. There's nothing that fires me up more than watching the light bulb go on and people's lives literally change in front of us. Like, if I wanted to say, help me write a TikTok post, right, regarding a funny TikTok post for new first-time home buyers, right? It'll spit it out.
It'll spit it out.
With audio tracks.
Any creating content scripts for yourself, using it to create any sort of post, using it to leverage hashtags, right? To find topics to talk about, you can leverage it for that. Blog articles, news articles, press releases. If you want to send prospecting emails, it'll do it. If you wanted to write a prospecting text message, it'll do it. We're here at the end of December right now. Maybe it's the holidays, you want to send out a happy holidays thank you letter. It'll write it for you. You have to go give a speech at your company Christmas party. It'll write that speech for you. Whatever you need it to do, it's going to do. My best advice is get in here, start playing around with it. We're going to be posting a lot of content on just different use studies, getting really creative with how agents can use this. So come back, watch our content. If you haven't done so already, hit the like and subscribe button. That way you get notified when we post these new videos. Come leverage what we're doing. It's 100% free. And then go leverage that in your business. But this thing will literally do anything from prospecting to sending emails to sending, creating posts, content, ideas, you name it. It'll do it. All the way down to, like, I know my wife's she used it yesterday because we got a lot of family coming into town. You got a big recipe you need to cook, ask it to give you a recipe, and then it'll create a shopping list of the ingredients for that recipe, which may help some of you as you hit into this. So my point there is actually a big one. That's why this is so important, because this has applications in our everyday life. This has so many applications beyond business, and therefore that is why you're going to see such an adoption rate from the general public as well. and from just human beings, because anytime we have something that is really niched down, you won't see as wide of adoption. When you have something that has applications in everyday life, that makes everyday life easier, that will soon integrate with all of those voice devices that you love and that we all have in our homes, which is coming, then it's over, right?
Yep.
And so this is going to become a way of life. My guess is by the end of next year, this is a normal way of life of searching. If I'm Google right now, I am really figuring out how I release my version of this very, very soon, because I think Google search is in big trouble. But hey, we'll see. Time will tell. But just get on here. Start playing with it. It'll write you rap songs. It'll write you funny songs. It'll write you poems. It'll write you whatever you want. So get in here and start playing around with it. That's the best advice I can give you.